Welcome back. We now want to move to the more political headlines that are appearing in today's dailies. On page 4 of the Daily Nation, Kiunjuri denies plot to kick out Mount Kenya MPs. 40 legislators, 40, accuse the CS of working with the opponents who won the recent Jubilee nominations. Now, the devolution CS yesterday denied claims that he plotted their downfall in the recent Jubilee party nominations. Now, some of the accusations coming and what he's saying, and this is a quote still on the same page. I was not involved in any way in the nominations. I'm a member of the cabinet and my duty is to proclaim government policies and achievements. The MPs should carry their own cross. Another one, a quote attributed to an MP from Nyeri County. You're from Nyeri County. We're not saying this is you. We have no clue who this is. We are aware he was working with election officials at the county levels to ensure most of us did not win the nominations. We know he wants to position himself as Ruto's running mate in 2022 by locking out popular politicians from the region. Now, this is something that many politicians and many people within the Jubilee party are very anxious to avoid, this particular conversation about the 2022 succession. But now it is coming out. With such denials, such claims, we do understand some of these members who lost out of the party primaries met the president at State House for a brief meeting, and they raised these concerns. Those at the meeting, and who included Nyeri Senator Mutahi Kagwe, Moranga Senator Kembi Gitura, Kiambu Women Representative Jamle Kamau. Kabando is here, so you must have been at that meeting. What exactly were you talking to the president about? Is it related to this, as we are reading in the headlines?
There's a story in the Daily Nation,
yes.
All right? So it's a newspaper story, and I have no interest, obligation to comment about it,
yes,
because I'm not part of it. And
were you in any meeting with the president?
I am saying that wherever I had opportunity to speak to the president, if there was need to pronounce that conversation, like I did when I was moving the Emakiba bill in Parliament, and he called me and we had a lengthy chat, I had the obligation to account to Parliament. Yes. But wherever I've talked to him, on phone or in person, singularly or in grouping, such conversations or such sessions are privileged. Yes. And I think it will be irresponsible for one to go talking about what you discussed with the president if it was not in a public library.
Away from the president, these accusations by some people that probably CS Kiunjuri is trying to position himself for a job in 2022, and that he could be behind some of the losses at the party primaries. Does it hold any water, according to you?
First of all, let me declare my interest. Festus Mwangi Kiunjuri, Aka, aka also known as Karuku, in the village, Bambawahu, is my personal friend. Yes. And I actually was his first political guest in Nanyuki in 1987 when he was plunging into politics as part of the Safina Brigade with Paul Muite and others. And he's a family friend. He's my age mate. He was a chairman in Laikipia University when I was chairman at the University of Nairobi. And I would wish that we don't disparage his position, and that anyone complaining may have his or her evidence. I certainly don't have any grievance against Honorable Mwangi Kiunjuri, my great friend, and but that is not to say that others don't have grievances. Yes. That's their own things. I belong to the school of thought that all politics are local, and though you may have external forces, and that happens because if you are rising in the politics and you are very polarizing, or you take positions that are very sometimes bold and sometimes you disagree, you are an independent or you are objective, you refuse to be a sycophant, you definitely are going to invite interest at the national level. You'll be fought. There will be instigations on local security, local administrators. There will be instigations through local honchos.
But you do agree that it could have something to do with the succession debate as well?
No. What I'm saying is, every person went to nominations individually. I, as Kabando, went to nominations in Mukurweini. And the people of Korea know whether I was very active, interested in the nominations, whether I was very prepared, or what I complained. I have myself not blamed anyone in particular, and I have not listed any particular grievance to the party or to the organs, including...
Does it mean you don't have any concerns?
I have very serious concerns indeed. My concerns are extremely serious, and that's why I said in my statement posted on my Facebook and captured by Citizen TV Prime Time and in all the papers, that I am conscious of efforts to nip my political career in the bud.
So there were efforts towards
that. Certainly there were.
Okay.
All right. But as to who was involved,
yes, I
do know. Singularly and collectively, we may share some concerns.
Yes.
But I want personally to exonerate Mwangi Kiunjuri in the Mukuru institution.
But even
also say that this has nothing to do with a specific individual. It may have something to do with a larger agenda. And I'm telling you, and this is what is important. Let me answer you now.
Yes.
If there's anyone, anywhere, anyhow, somewhat thinking that you are going to terminate careers of the tallest trees in Mount Kenya region, so that the bands living within the central Kenya don't have any tree they can patch post 2017, you are very mistaken.
Okay.
We are the children of Mau Mau, and we cannot be suffocated. We cannot submit to any force, to any whims. We fought the colonialists. Even during the reign of Moi, we stood as children. During Kibaki reign, although we are ministers, we still stated our positions. And in Uhuru's government, if you remember very well, a person like me, I've had not less than 4 occasions to stand boldly and tall when matters of national interest took precedence over matters of community or even party. And therefore, 2022 is very far away. Right? The chicken are not yet hatching. Okay? So there are no chicks because the egg has
but
not
it's a statement that you've just used, cutting the tall trees within Mount Kenya.
There's a concern about that.
Yes.
And I think before I go to Eugene, to Chris Omarwa, can I explain something?
Because I need to be want to speak.
Can I say something very simple, but which needs to be known by the country?
Yes.
That it should be of concern when the battalions, when the troops of the king get dispersed before the main battle. All right? And I'm not saying that the voters don't have their way and their say. And the verdict is always democratic. And therefore, none of us should blame the voter. But all we are saying is that the machinations that seem to happen, the cancellations of the nominations, the intrusion of some individuals, because I do have a very detailed report of exactly what happened in Mukurweini. And I was the first person to submit and concede that I've agreed that I misread the political weather. But I'm saying there is a concern.
Okay.
And that concern cannot be ignored.
Do you want to go before Bwana Muthoni Njuki, because he could have a different opinion from the Jubilee? Bwana Muthoni Njuki, that statement that yes, there could be concerns and there could be attempts to cut the tall trees, yes, within Mount Kenya region. It is a serious concern. People are anxious, and I know people are anxious not to mention names. Do you agree that yes, there could have been some forces behind the losses?
That is Kabando's insinuation that there are tall trees in Mount Kenya that are attempted to be cut. I hope he's not insinuating he's one of them, because the headlines here, they are blaming it on Kiunjuri as per se. So therefore, there are people in Mount Kenya region, and I want to say I speak from Mount Kenya East. So I don't know whether when he speaks he talks about Mount Kenya in being Nyeri, like Kipia and Kirinyaga and Murang'a. I come from Mount Kenya East, where we also part and parcel of this. And I want to say this: Mwangi Kiunjuri is one of those very outspoken cabinet secretaries who are not supposed to be doing politics, but he is doing politics, and together with other few people. And of course, it was a very wise move by Uhuru Kenyatta to have such people, because really having cabinet that does not really link up with the politics of the day, are not very good in implementing. It could be a twist. If Mwangi Kiunjuri really wanted to position himself for 2022, you cannot position yourself by being in a position which is not assured. In 2017, we are going to have a new set of cabinet secretaries. It is not a guarantee that Mwangi Kiunjuri is going to be there. However, if he took an elective post, which is a mandate given by the people, not the president or not by the deputy president or anyone else, then he will be in a better position to be able to say that he can be able to run for elective politics. Right now, I'll be worried about and looking at people like Anne Waiguru, who you try to suppress, but she's saying, I'm out there, I am going for it. Those are the people who could be saying they are going for places. But when you decide to take a back position and decide I'm not running for any post, and then I'm a cabinet secretary.
Away from Mwangi Kiunjuri,
yes.
Do you share in the concerns that Kabando has, that yes, there could be an attempt to actually undermine some of the candidates or some of the individuals from that region who appear like they could
where is the evidence? I want to be given names.
So you don't share that?
When people of like Kipia, Nyeri, Muranga and Kirinyaga decide that we are going to change this fella who has not been working for us, or when somebody like Kabando decides not to campaign or decides to underestimate his opponents, and somehow he slips, and then I'm very happy he's coming up and saying, I know I lost it, I'm going for it, but I give him a lot of credit, because he's not like these guys who are blaming it on other people, their losses. He's saying, I know I went wrong, and I've come back and he's independent. I mean to make sure that I beat all the odds to be in parliament next.
Finally, before I give an opportunity to Bono Amalo, there's also another concern that he raised, that the soldiers around the king, when they're dispersed just before the main battle, then there should be a concern. Do you read the same thing, that probably President Uhuru Kenyatta's main foot soldiers lost out of the party primaries, either as a coincidence or it could have been stage managed?
Well, I think some people have just positioned themselves under the assumption that they're president's soldiers, because basically politics is about finding your own space. In the new team, there could be more aggressive foot soldiers who will get votes for Uhuru Kenyatta more than the ones that have gone down the line. As per se, we cannot say that.
Let's now get a perspective from the other side. The two gentlemen are speaking from within that Jubilee formation. Bonamalo, please.
I'm going to speak objectively.
Yes.
Who is speaking
and first I want to confirm the issue of the tall tree and the short tree. Honorable Mudomi Njugi is under the short tree. He has not yet qualified to go to the tall trees. Honorable Kabando is in that category.
What is justification?
I'm going to explain. Honorable Mudomi did not come through TNA. He came through the bus. These were the main guys of TNA. I want you to listen and because I speak objectively, you know. What Honorable Kabando said is true. It is true there's a scheme, and you know, as parliamentarians we do speak. When you read the papers, it seems there's a conspiracy. Looking at the 2022, the Deputy President William Ruto, maybe Kiunjuri to be his running mate. And of course Kiunjuri is also among the tall trees. If you read 48 laws of power, you must crush your competitors in totality. And I have no doubt what Honorable Kabando said is true. He's among the tall trees. For Kiunjuri to have an easy way, the tall trees must be cleared. This is a short tree, you allow it to be there, Honorable Mudomi. It's not a competitor at all. So the issue is this. The big trees, look at Kabogo. Kabogo is a threat, he's a big tree, he's an intelligent man. He's a guy who cannot be anybody's sycophant. He went down. Remember, he was the first one to challenge the Deputy President the issue of him being a running mate, being a flag bearer in 2022. And here, he's gone down. Even he was on TV and he asked questions. How comes the turnout in Kiambu was that high? He complained to the Deputy President himself. You know, remember the Deputy President, when we had these issues of nominations in Jubilee, he took charge in the Jubilee House in Pangani. He went there personally. People like Tuju, the chair of the elections board, my friend from their village, they were under him.
Okay.
So that's why there's that understanding that the deputy president went there to take charge.
Okay.
This is the assumption people are saying.
Okay.
And then was to clear the tall trees.
Okay.
The tall trees that will not bring competition, but allow the short trees, which are not threats. As I finish, let me finish.
One of the headlines.
Let me finish. I want to finish.
Yes.
Please. Can I finish?
15
I'm still doing the analysis. Now,
No.
come to issue of also Anwai Guru. There's a say there that she's not yet gone. That the deputy president doesn't want to see her to go anywhere. With Mother Karua, that's Mother Karua is coming in. Because he wants to get allies that will help him to ascend power in 2022.
So you really agree with this theory?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Mwangi, this guy, minor commander of Sarehe, he was the one, the proponent of Peter Kenneth. Where is Peter Kenneth today? He's a threat in 2022. The tall tree is gone. Minor commander, the tall tree is gone. But now, we have the short trees coming up, which are not going to be a threat as far as succession is concerned.
To wrap up this
It
conversation,
needs to be made clear that the voter is never wrong. Alright? We should not ever blame the voter verdict, because that's about the democracy.
yes.
And that's why some of us, and many of us, gladly and readily accept the outcome of elections. But let's agree, unless you want to be a pretender, a hypocrite, and you're intellectually dwarfed, that the primaries were symbolic, they were a sham in many instances. You know, we did not use party registers. You know, there are people who voted 10 times. You know, there are polling stations that started voting at 7 p.m. when others were closing at 5 p.m. You know, there are millions spent in Nairobi to recruit returning officers and presiding officers. You know, there was a lot of chaotic arrangement. That is why, Munomi, on 21st Friday, the process of nominations was cancelled across the country by the president himself, and he went to do it personally at the party headquarters. And you know the repeat on Wednesday. While some of us are not saying, we are not even blaming our competitors. I personally have not blamed the person who has been given the ticket, and I have not blamed my other competitors, because we are more than, we are actually 6 of us to the ballot. We are saying that we are also conscious of other conspiracies and plots that are meant to frustrate. Because, for instance, you know, I was in the steering committee of Jubilee. I was actually chairing the subcommittee on political mobilization and strategy to dissolve TNA. You can tell me how many you are in the bus, okay? You came through the side door. I came through the main door, right?
Yes.
And I can tell you, Munomi, Joke, and Chris, that we don't want to spend so much time talking about the past. I personally have accepted that I'm an independent candidate in the Mokoroine constituency race, and I have also accepted that Jubilee has his own candidate as a party. I'm in a presidential campaign, and I've accepted that my singular focus and drive is to campaign for Uhuruto presidency, re-election 2017. But also, you should be very careful, Munomi.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, they will come for you today. I'll keep quiet. Tomorrow they will come for another person. And unless you are politically very unconscious, not to know even within parliament that there are cartels in the political panorama that try to circumvent the main path in a bid to create sycophants, lackeys, puppets, people who are given microphone with a script. This is what we want to say.
Yes.
We are the strong individuals with the rationality.
And most of you will come back as independent.
Not only that, Fred. No. I'm saying it is for the voters to decide.
Okay.
But I'm personally very confident
Okay.
that I'm coming back to parliament.
Before you
But
go
I can tell you, the Mount Kenya region, yeah,
Including Mount Kenya East.
is totally reverberating for Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and his deputy to come back to power. But when it comes to the seat of governor, senator, member of parliament, and the county assembly, watch the space.
Okay.
There's no Jubilee.
We need to wrap up. We need to
I know we need to wrap up. These guys are breathing fire, and
Yes.
they're really charged. Chris, of course, is enjoying because
Because you are short through, you cannot judge.
He's seeing that
Short through is no judge.
No, let's give Nomi Njuki.
First of all, that issue about the trees, I think it's really misguided, and it's a demeanor. You know, it's not really something that we should be discussing here about the tall and short trees.
First
and foremost, I want to remind Kabando that I beat a TNA candidate to be in parliament.
It's true.
The power is given by the people, not by the party.
I agree with you.
And therefore, the issue of the short trees, because we came in through a party, if that is the case, he has no business now trying to contest, because there can never be a shorter tree than a person who stands on his own as an independent candidate and say, I'm going to parliament. That should maybe the dwarf of the dwarfs. And therefore, he should not be using, he should not be throwing stones at a glass house. Okay. Two, the power to be able to ascend to these positions, which they are thinking that some people are being castigated by other people outside the region, is misguided, because it's the people who decide. There is no William Ruto from the Rift Valley will come and tell the people of Kirinyaga, the people of Nyeri, and the people of Laikipia, I do not want this person, give me this one. Because unless you're telling me that elections are not free and fair, then the question of blaming our losses to other forces out there is just an escape route. Okay. Let us meet at the ballot box, ask for your votes, and as for 2022, I think very many surprises will be coming.
And in that particular headline, I think we should end it there, because we need to wrap up. We need to wrap up. I'll give you a chance. We need to wrap up, but I want us to comment on this 2/3 principle, which is getting its last hearing today. The National Assembly Majority Leader Aden Duale is today set to kick off Parliament's last effort to amend the Constitution to implement the principle that not more than 2/3 of elected leaders should be of the same gender. You're all going to be in Parliament today, even the ones seeking to be governor. Who? All of you are still members of the National Assembly, so this one will come before you. Do you see this particular principle seeing the light of day, despite the pressure even from the President?
Which pressure?
2/3 gender rule.
If the motion is brought in time, and I hope so, I'll support it. I'll support, because...
Do you see it getting enough support from other members as well?
Yes, it will be supported. Yeah, we as a Jubilee...
You're no longer in Jubilee.
No.
He's an independent candidate.
No.
He's still in Jubilee. He's a Jubilee member of Parliament.
Let me finish this. I'm a Jubilee member of Parliament elected on TNA in Mokorene. Okay. General elections have not been conducted and have not been voted out. And now...
And they are not superior to a member of Parliament elected with APK.
Agreed. That I agree. We are equal members of Parliament.
Correct.
But don't be joking, I support you. I don't know why you are getting worried by attacks from Chris Wamalo. I did not attack you myself.
I appreciate it.
First of all, so I'm saying, we in Jubilee Coalition, the parliamentary group of Jubilee, have agreed to support the position of our party, and we have agreed to ensure that the advice from President Uhuru, who is our party leader, is made to pass, because it's interest of this country, and we want to make sure that the Constitution is implemented very well, and we are for gender parity, equality, equity. We are for affirmative action.
Okay. This one has come before Parliament before, and has in fact it has met a lot of quorum hitches.
Yes.
Do you think at this time, with most of the members actually out there campaigning for the election, do you think this one will see the light?
As I answer that, you told me I'll comment a bit. As you can see, the Jubilee primaries have left them more divided than before.
It is true.
You can see the third force, the tall people, where he belongs. It seems there's a scheme somewhere to eliminate them because of 2022. But we are humbly requesting you, in NASA, we have room for everybody, and join the winning team. As you can see, it shows that their nominations were way below the expectations. That's the thing. As you can see, you cannot undermine somebody like a band or commander, the Maina commanders.
According to a report,
the Kabogos.
According to a report given,
watch this space.
The ODM NASA primaries were rated as nearly 60% violence.
Up to 7.8.
Let me tell you, there's only in NASA where you're finding certificates being prescribed.
I was the one talking.
Okay.
Final now on the two-thirds, I was speaking on the two-thirds. Now on the two-thirds, on the two-thirds, it is impossible. What His Excellency the President was saying, it was a public relations. Remember, these are constitutional bills.
So you don't see it
and there's that element of the 90 days in between the readings. But now, the Speaker, in line with this standing order number 1, the Speaker is standing order number 1 of using discretion where it's not provided for, and bearing in mind that already the public participation has been done, we want to circumvent that so that we shorten the time frame. But right now, with the injuries you are seeing, you can see the two gentlemen. There is no quorum. It is impossible.
On this particular issue,
to work, and it's going to.
First and foremost, I would like to tell Chris to be contented with receiving Koigo Amwere and Kirugi Muntomukedi. That's the best he can ever get from the fallout in Jubilee, and be contented.
Our time is up. Yes.
The issue of the two-thirds general. This is purely a PR exercise.
Yes.
This is PR exercise. It's not going anywhere. Not because I won't vote for it. I'll vote for it definitely. But you can never achieve the quorum that you need in the House. For the whole of last week, there has been a struggle for quorum. The maximum ever attained is maybe 90 people. Never have you ever been able to get even to 120 or 150. How will you get over 200 members to vote for this?
So according to the three of you, only Kabando sees this thing going through.
You can't get quorum.
Let me tell you, I said it's going through because we are going to work on it. All right? These guys may be pessimistic, but I know they also support the agenda. And you could have allowed me to say this.
Yeah, please say.
That I'm an independent. But I can assure you, irrespective of what happened in the primaries, the symbolic sham of so-called nominations, all right, that we in Jubilee, whether independent, small parties, whether you are running from Jubilee party,
and that's a contradiction.
No, there's no contradiction. Can I say? Yes, you don't speak for me. I speak for myself.
But you resigned from the party.
No, listen, can you listen?
Yes.
That I'm Jubilee brigade, part of the Jubilee troops, and whether we are independent or we are from small parties, the only people who are jealous and are shaking and they want to fight us and those who are given the direct Jubilee ticket after the nominations. I can tell you that in Mount Kenya region, in Central Kenya region, it is about Ohuruto for the presidency, everybody else for yourself.
Okay.
Thank you. Lastly,
thank you so much. Our time is up. Unfortunately, our time is up. Thank you so much.
The IBC was very critical.
Yes, but unfortunately, we don't have time.
Results to be done at the counties and the constituencies.
Yes. That's one of the headlines. Yes, and we'll continue that debate. But for now, we have to give room for another discussion. Man Cave happens today. Of course, they're discussing quite a number of very interesting topics. You have to stand by for that. Joy will be carrying out that interview. Thank you so much, Kabando Akabanto, MP Mukurweine, Mudhomi Njuki, MP Chuka Egambangombe, and Chris Wamalwa, MP Kiminini, helping us look at the headlines this morning. For me, my name is Freddy Rimuli. Good morning.